because we're used, we're brutalized. The police in our community occupy our area, our community, as a foreign troop occupies territory. And the police are there not to, in our community, not to promote our welfare.
What made the Black Power movement so powerful that the government feared it? And yet, so inspiring that it still shapes us today. In this video, we explore the Black Power movement and the leaders who changed history. From Stokely Carmichael to Huey P. Newton, Bobby Seale, Fred Hampton, and Elaine Brown. These voices demanded dignity, and they challenged injustice, and left a legacy so powerful the government feared it. Yet so inspiring, it still shapes us today. What sparked the call for Black Power?
The 1960s carried hope. The civil rights movement won hard-fought victories. Marches shook the nation. Sit-ins broke barriers. The Voting Rights Act and Civil Rights Act promised equality. Yet daily life told another story. Poverty kept families trapped. Police still brutalized young men and women. Schools remained unequal. Frustration grew. People asked, how long must we wait? Laws could not put food on the table. Court rulings could not stop violence in the streets. And out of this fire, a new demand rose. The Black Power movement said equality within white systems was not enough. It demanded dignity. It demanded control over communities, schools, and resources. The turning point came in 1966. Stokely Carmichael, then a leader in the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, stood before a crowd. With his fist raised, he shouted, "Black Power." The crowd answered with thunder. The words cut through the air like a blade. They captured anger, they captured hope, and they gave language to what so many already felt. From that moment, Black Power was no longer an idea. It was a movement. A new chapter in the fight for justice had begun.
Which leaders dared to challenge America?
No movement grows without leaders. The Black Power movement produced some of the most fearless voices America had ever seen. It began with Stokely Carmichael. Crowds listened as he spoke of Black self-reliance. His words struck a nerve with the youth. They no longer wanted slow promises. They wanted control of their own future. When Carmichael shouted, "Black Power" in 1966, he gave the movement its name. And he gave a generation its voice. In Oakland, California, Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale took the idea and made it real. They founded the Black Panther Party. They studied the law to hold police accountable. And they organized armed patrols in their neighborhoods. But they also built survival programs, like free breakfasts for students, free clinics and schools. Newton and Seale showed that Black Power meant more than resistance. It meant building a system of care when the state refused. Then came Fred Hampton in Chicago, Illinois. He was only 21, but his vision stretched across communities. He brought together groups that no one thought could stand side by side. Hampton reached out to the Young Lords, a Puerto Rican activist group fighting for their community's survival. He brought in the Young Patriots, a poor white migrants from the South who wore Confederate flags, yet shared the same struggles of poverty and police harassment. He found common ground with working-class organizations that wanted better jobs, housing, and dignity. Hampton called this alliance the Rainbow Coalition, later used by Jesse Jackson. It was radical because it broke the barriers of race. It exposed the truth that oppression wore many faces but had the same source. His charisma and leadership made this coalition possible. It terrified those in power because a united front of black, brown, and poor white people threatened the entire system. Crowds packed halls to hear him speak. His charisma made him dangerous to those in power. That is why his home was raided, and it led to his unaliving. His loss told America just how far authorities would go to silence black power. Another voice, H. Rap Brown, took the stage with fiery words. He called out racism with no filter. He urged self-defense. Later, he changed his name to Jamil Abdullah Al-Mania and carried faith into his struggle. His transformation showed the many paths the movement could take. Amiri Baraka, a poet and playwright, turned the arts into a weapon. His work gave the Black arts movement power. He reminded the world that liberation was not only in the streets.
How did women contribute to the Black Power movement, and were their voices central to its development?
Kathleen Cleaver sharpened the Panthers' strategy and organization. Elaine Brown made history as the first woman to chair the Black Panther Party. Under her leadership, political education and community organizing gained strength. She demanded that the fight for Black freedom also respect women's leadership.
How did the Black Power movement help communities survive?
The Black Power movement was not only about marches or fiery speeches. It was also about survival. Leaders knew that freedom meant little if children were hungry, if families had no doctors, and if schools erased their history. So they built programs that met those needs head-on. The Black Panther Party created the Free Breakfast for Children program. Across the country, young people walked into centers each morning and sat down to a hot meal. For many, it was the only meal they would eat that day. Volunteers cooked, served, and cleaned. They proved that community could care for its own. Clinics soon followed. In neighborhoods where hospitals refused to open doors, the Panthers opened their own. These clinics gave free checkups, vaccinations, and health screenings. Mothers brought babies. Elders came for care they had long been denied. These small clinics became lifelines. Education was another battlefield. The movement knew that textbooks erased Black voices, so they built alternative schools. In those classrooms, students learned Black history and culture alongside math, reading, and science. They saw themselves reflected in their lessons, not just ignored. The fight for justice stretched into housing. The Panthers built community housing programs that gave families safe and affordable places to live. Legal aid programs also grew. Lawyers and activists offered defense for those targeted by discrimination and police abuse. These programs stunned the government. They revealed something more powerful than protest signs. The Black Power movement built what the state refused to build. That reality frightened officials even more than the slogans.
Why did the government fear Black Power?
The Black Power movement called for dignity, unity, and control over Black communities. To ordinary families, it meant survival. To those in power, they called it rebellion, because Black strength threatened white control. The government watched closely. Armed patrols that monitored police made headlines. Community programs that fed children and treated the sick embarrassed the state. If the Panthers could do what the government would not, then who really held authority? The FBI decided to act. Under its COINTELPRO program, FBI agents launched a campaign to destroy the movement from the inside. They used surveillance, they planted informants, and they spread lies to create distrust among leaders. Every major Black Power organization came under attack. Police departments followed the same path. They raided offices and homes. They arrested activists on questionable charges. Courtrooms became battlegrounds where Panthers and their supporters fought endless trials. Resources drained away as legal battles mounted. The media joined in. Newspapers and television often portrayed Black Power leaders as dangerous radicals. They showed images of weapons, but rarely showed health clinics or schools. This created fear among the public and gave the government the excuse to come down even tougher. White supremacist groups struck with violence. From fire bombings to street intimidation, they tried to break Black unity through terror. Families lived with the constant threat of attack. Politicians fueled the fire. They warned that Black Power meant riots. They claimed it endangered white jobs and white neighborhoods. But what truly frightened them was the demand for control over resources long held by others. The call for self-determination exposed the truth. A united front of Black, brown, and poor white communities threatened the entire system. And that was something those in power could not allow. How did opposition create cracks in the Black Power movement? The pressure on the Black Power movement was relentless. Leaders faced arrests, trials, and the constant threat of violence. Some were silenced forever. The loss of strong voices left the movement shaken. At the same time, internal debates grew louder. Some leaders believed in armed defense as the only answer. Others argued for political organizing and building coalitions. These differences pulled groups in different directions, and government pressure made things worse. Surveillance and infiltration planted distrust. Allies became suspicious of one another. Rumors spread, and friendships broke apart. Unity grew harder to maintain. Money also became a battlefield. Community programs needed resources to survive. But donations dried up as donors feared retaliation. Government harassment cut off other funding. Clinics and breakfast programs struggled to stay open. Despite the cracks, the idea of Black Power refused to vanish. Even as organizations weakened, the message lived on. It carried into music, it flowed through art, and it became part of everyday conversations.
The Black Power movement gave vision and hope, but the cost was heavy. Leaders were silenced, families lived in fear, and communities lived under constant threat. Yet they kept going, because the fight for justice was stronger than fear. A lesson for us in 2025 is clear. Fred Hampton showed how powerful we are. When Black, brown, women, and the poor stand together. But if we stay divided, the rich will keep gaining power and strip away all our human rights. That's a wrap, history seekers. Getting to the roots is where history comes alive. We uncover the truth about Africa, African Americans, and American history, one story at a time. Thanks for watching. Peace and love.